Hey everyone, it's me, your friend Shaun Proulx, and we're doing this thing called COVID Conversations here, just because I've been meeting a lot of people along this journey, this experience that we're all on together, and I thought it would be cool to highlight some of the efforting going on. I've been seeing a lot of beautiful things, whether it is acts of charity or acts of goodwill, or the imparting of good knowledge or good ideas or good attitudes. I think we could all use a little upliftment right now. And to that end, I'm picking over on SiriusXM the most uplifting interviews that we've done over 7 seasons there, and packaging them up to air on the weekends. Now the show's on hiatus until who knows when. I mean, here in Toronto, they've canceled everything through Pride 2020, which is the beginning of July. So who knows when we're going to be back in studio, but that's what's going on there. And you can hear the Shaun Proulx show every weekend still on SiriusXM Canada Talks, channel 167. Back to great people that I want to introduce you to. Meet my friend Kevin, who doesn't want his last name used. He's a long-term HIV survivor, international award-winning songwriter and spiritual channel and energy worker. A Kundalini activation in 2006 opened his psychic abilities, and he was gifted his medicine and shamanic rights by spirit in 2008. His devotion to fight for the truth and the higher consciousness of the human race is his main focus now during the COVID-19 pandemic. I've seen you channel, I've been with you when you've channeled, and I don't know whether you are accessing your other ideas that way, or whether you're talking to people who have, but what from the broader perspective, do you believe this is about?
This is about, I believe, a war between light and dark, as some, or light and shadow. We're at the end of a 26,000 year cycle of being in this 3D world, which is me and you, him and her, you and I, him versus them, man versus woman. So we're in this duality, basically, and the world is saying enough of that. We want to get back to unity consciousness, which is one consciousness, where men and women come together and there's a triangle. And I think that's the Holy Trinity that we've always heard about, whether it be through Christianity or Buddhism or Zen or however you wish to look at it. That's been a very sacred symbol for most, whether it's the male or the female, right? Whether you go up or down. So, but I believe there is a bigger universal galactic picture. If I do channel, I have channeled with other Earths, other races, other planets, other people that sometimes say they look like us, but are much bigger. There's also inner Earth beings that are supposedly went inside the Earth because the Earth is hollow. These are hollow Earth predictions that have happened, saying that we're coming out of that again and moving back to a 5D consciousness, which is one consciousness, unity consciousness.
So how does somebody listening to this translate what you just said into their into what you call 3D world?
Well,
so
I think
we've got this virus going around. We've been told to stay put.
Yes.
And how does this morph into? Because I believe a lot of what you've been saying. I translate it more. We've been sent to our rooms. We've been fucking up. I mean, there's no need to even give examples of the myriad ways in which we have been fucking up.
Yes.
And so now it's like, you people get out of the way.
Yes.
And while you're there, think about what you've done. I think that this is why it's taking longer than just this 2-week, 3-week thing.
Much longer.
Why it's going on for months. We're all going to have to face who we are and look at deep inside ourselves. And when we come out into this new earth, as I keep calling it in my head, we hope to be new people having emerged from this. This is almost like a World War III, except for the war that we have to find peace about is within ourselves. So that's how I see this as playing out broad perspective.
Right. So the micro is ourselves.
Yeah.
Having this work done within ourselves, finding who am I, what do I need to survive, what do I need to thrive in this world that we're coming into, right? I think that's part of the micro. The macro, again, is how do we survive and sustain, again, on this consumer economy, which we know is failing now. And you have to say, but let's bring the economy back. Well, It's not working, people. Wake up. What's the new economy we're going to be going to?
Well, and Marianne Williamson, when she was campaigning for president, always had a great way of putting it. The people that drove us into the ditch are not the people that are going to get us out of the ditch.
Yes.
And the way that got us into the ditch is not going to be the way that gets us out of the
Yes.
ditch.
Yes.
But what is the way? Do you have conversations? Have you received input or information that way? Like what people watching this are we supposed to do?
From the spiritual channels that I listen to from around the world, whether they be South Africa or Ireland or the United States, most of the channels, I believe, are saying to bring the consciousness, keep out of fear. That's the first thing. Stay out of fear because it lowers your vibration.
Yes.
So if everything is vibration, we need to keep that vibration higher. And that's why.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second and make
Sure.
sure that everybody understands that science, quantum physics, can measure the vibration of your energy, of your thoughts. And they're measured in something called hertz.
Yeah.
And when you are thinking from a fear-based place, whether it's hate, whatever it is, you're vibrating at a lower level of hertz. And it's a remarkable difference when you're coming at your life and the thoughts that you're thinking about life from a love-based place. And you can approach things through fear or through love. Those are the two options. And every negative emotion and every positive emotion falls under either love or fear. And you know you're feeling fear or negative emotion when you feel it in your solar plexus. When you feel off, when you feel negative emotion, you should understand that you're coming at things through a fear-based place. And then you've got to reroute your thoughts to come from a love-based place.
Exactly. And that's what I fear. The television multimedia right now is coming at a more lower vibration, giving us the data that they want us to hear, that, you know, we're going to be sequestered in our homes now for 3 months, as John Tory, you know, the other day, just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this is where I don't get where they're getting their data and not telling us, but all of a sudden saying, we need to stay home till June and everything's cut off, even Pride. That's where I went off, because Pride, are you kidding me? But what's the good thing about Pride now? I think that makes us go back to, why did Pride happen in the first place?
So I just want to make sure everyone understands. John Tory is the mayor of Toronto, where we're both based, and
Yes.
And he has said that the city will not be funding or giving permits to anything prior to July 1st. So that takes us all the way through until summer, and the subtext is that that's how long they think. And I had the same thought when I saw that announcement last night, as I think you did, which is, what do they know that they're not sharing? Because there wasn't an explanation.
Yes.
More just, here's what you're doing now. And I think that's what unsettles a lot of people, is
Yes.
just being told. At first it was just going to be for 2-3 weeks, and I think people hung on to that, and now we've managed that, and we're seeing as things as extreme as suicides from people who can't handle it, to people just starting to like really get stir crazy. So
Yes.
how are we expected to last until the end of June when there isn't even an explanation as to why coming, which is what you're saying is we should question, just a question.
Yes, exactly. Those are the truths I want to know. What in his mind changed from 2 days ago to make that assumption that we now need to be indoors and away from everybody and not going to work, not seeing our friends, not seeing our family for 3 months. I mean, this is my 21st day of being in quarantine. So I've been at home for 25 days. Now, I work at night, so being home during the day is not an unusual thing for me. Mm-hmm. It's the nighttime that I have a little, you know, anxiety around, because I'm not going to work, all that stuff. So yeah, it's just, there was no explanation. Again, why June? Because schools have now in Ontario been only closed now till beginning of May. Okay, so there's a month. Okay, so why the month in the province, and yet the municipal government says, no, we're now going to shut everything down 3 months, not just 1 month. So this is where the disconnect for me starts to happen. And this is when I question. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, it's just different things. I mean, yeah, but question it. Why aren't we asking?
Question it. Question
you know,
it.
Exactly. And this is, I think, the biggest thing I can say is question it, but also the spiritual side of it is we're trying to stay in the love consciousness, which is a consciousness of just, we're here for not just ourselves, but for everyone,
You
and
can
stay
ask
up at that
questions and
level.
come from a place of love. That's not fear. In fact, I think fear-based is not asking any questions. I want to go back just real quickly, and then
Okay,
we'll
sure.
wrap this up my face, and then I realize I'm on camera touching my face.
Uh-oh, yeah, me too.
When I first heard John Tory's announcement last night, I thought immediately about pride, as did many other people right away. And then my next thought was, I bet you that there's a kick-ass pride that happens anyway, because you're not going to
Yes,
keep the LGBTQ plus community down
exactly.
at
Yes,
all. And we
yes,
will find a way, using technology, of course,
yeah,
to create something.
yes.
And so,
We will just be on the streets. That's even if that's all it is. It will be like the bathhouse raids, and then the next night there's 3,000 people on the
there will be
street.
something. There will be something, or there will be many some things. And I think that, just to tie this up in a bit of a bow, when we're
Yes,
talking about it, when I was asking you, how do we emerge anew? I think it's things like that time of year and how we do things differently. I mean, everyone who's stuck inside has been forced to be creative, forced to try new things, forced to think outside the box. And I think that that's the point, is
yes,
stop doing what you were doing. See that there are other ways of doing what you wish to do,
yes,
right? And so see that there are different ways that you can be handling your life, whether it's just your personal interactions, or whether it's even the way you're thinking about the broadest subjects in the world and
yes,
reacting to those subjects. I feel like we've all been sent to our rooms for a good time out
yes,
while the world
yeah.
resets.
We're being shown what is truly a need for us now. It's food, our families, our home. But
Yes.
should that now be included in again, universal basic income? Should this be a basic right? And I
Well, and
think
look,
this is coming up to the fore, whether people are conscious of it or not. I believe it is coming to the fore to show us, no, we all need a home. So who didn't pay rent today? How did you pay rent today? Some people can't. But why is that still being
but yet it's okay if
questioned?
you can't. Yet
Yes,
it's okay if you can't, says our
exactly.
premier.
Yes,
So, and that you bring to mind all of this too, because there has been a lot of debate around the world that, and some countries do provide for their every citizen, whether you're employed or not employed, you don't go without.
yes,
And so it has been remarkable to me how, both in the US and Canada, we've been able to invent a lot of money to throw at a problem,
yes,
right? We're just, whoa, we need $30 billion, here it is. We can just do that. And so when you're forced as a government to demonstrate that you can take care of your people right now for 4 months by all this money that they're just coming up with, why isn't it always a lot easier?
yes,
I know
exactly.
people are not having ease and flow right now. I understand that. I know that
Yes.
people are waiting on money. I know, I get all that. But I'm just pointing out that the Prime Minister stood up in front of the nation and said, we will take care of every Canadian citizen.
But
Okay.
not until April 6th, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember? So
And I hear that. And
there
you
was
can
a
do it.
quote there.
You can
Yeah.
do it. And I think that the underlying, the subtext is, we can take care of each other.
Yeah.
And it does not have to be a win-lose, 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 where only 1% of the population is really, really winning all the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So I don't like the situation,
Yeah.
but I see the greater good in it. I'm going to let you have
Exactly.
the last word, and then we're going to cut.
Yes. How do we make this a win-win situation for everybody? And I think that's part of the new consciousness that's coming. It won't be a battle between us and them anymore. We're seeing the battle. Finally, we've won how many battles, but now the war is actually, we're at the end of the war. And I think this is just the chaos before the storm before the calm. And we will come out of this in a win-win situation, whether it is, they just have to say, look, we have to keep people housed at least and fed and clothed at the basic of, necessities as being just a human on the planet. And I think that's really where we will get to. And I don't know if it's going to be a week, 2 weeks. I don't know if it's 3 months down the road, because I'm still not figuring out why the 3 months.
Some
But
people are not going to get it fast.
yeah, but we will work through this. And I believe there is stuff coming down the pike, which I guess we'll have to have another talk of, what's coming down the pike that they've hidden from us for how long, So
I've known you many years. You're always interesting. Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us today. And thank you for watching. We'll
thank
be
you,
back.
Shaun. Thanks,
We'll post
everybody.
these on shaunproulx.ca, and you can catch them there on my YouTube channel. And you can listen to the Shaun Proulx Show every weekend on SiriusXM Canada Talks Channel 167. Peace and love.